Welcome to the Wiley virtual presentation for the 2017 Florida Instructional Materials Adoption. We here at Wiley look forward to partnering with you and your students. Wiley is one of the largest publishers in the world, and we've been empowering teaching and learning since Thomas Jefferson resided in the White House. With many of the best authors in the world, we continue to support students, instructors, and professionals with our rich library of content and resources that are available in digital and print formats. So let's get started. For your consideration today, we present Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology by Craig Freudenrich and Gerard Tortora. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology is designed to provide a fresh visual presentation of the subject, telling the story of the human body, the interrelatedness of its structures and functions, and the relevance of this knowledge to health and disease. Integrated with Wiley Plus, it is a combination of a visually powerful textbook and interactive media that is inviting, not intimidating, to students who are overwhelmed by other scientific texts. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology offers a unique presentation of content because it is part of the Wiley Visualizing series. How is Wiley Visualizing different? Visualizing combines three powerful elements: a visual pedagogy integrated with comprehensive text, the use of authentic situations and issues from the National Geographic Society collections, and the inclusion of interactive media in the Wiley Plus learning environment. Each concept and its supporting details have been analyzed and carefully crafted to maximize and enhance student learning and engagement. Research shows that well-designed visuals integrated with comprehensive text can improve the efficiency in which a learner processes information. Wiley Visualizing is designed as a natural extension of how we learn. Visuals, texts, and learning aids are integrated to display facts, concepts, processes, and principles more effectively than words can alone. The author selected relevant visualizations and graphical displays of information that specifically support students' thinking and learning, then organized the content to integrate new knowledge with prior knowledge, thus clarifying and reinforcing major concepts, while helping students comprehend the details. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology assumes that students have not previously studied the human body. The goal is to provide a basic understanding of the structure and functions of the human body with an emphasis on homeostasis. Health and disease topics are integrated throughout the book and digital media, and topics such as wellness, aging, and personal health choices are discussed within each chapter. Tested and proven visuals and pedagogy that help students learn more effectively are used to teach and explain, not just illustrate. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology is organized into 16 chapters. As each chapter unfolds, the core concepts needed to fully comprehend the subject matter, homeostasis and the relevance of the results of disruptions to homeostasis, the interrelatedness of structure and function, and the development of critical thinking skills are highlighted and emphasized. Chapters 1 through 3 establish the groundwork for understanding the structure and function of each body system. The remaining chapters of the text each focus on a major organ system of the human body. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology presents real-world data and real-world situations. Learning A&P in this context helps students to develop critical thinking skills. Several key features of this book encourage scientific literacy and data analysis. What a health provider sees highlights a concept or phenomenon and examines it from a clinical point of view. Photos and figures are used to understand how a scientist would see an issue and help students apply their own observational skills to think like a scientist and use critical thinking skills to answer questions. Process diagrams provide in-depth coverage of processes correlated with clear, step-by-step narrative, making complex topics more accessible. Insights are multi-part visual features that focus on a key concept or topic in the chapter, exploring it in detail or in a broader context using a combination of photographs, photomicrographs, diagrams, and data. What is happening in this picture presents an uncaptioned photograph that is relevant to a chapter topic and illustrates a situation students are not likely to have encountered previously. The photo is paired with questions that ask the student to describe and explain what they observe based on what they have learned in the chapter. In-text questions encourage concept review, critical thinking, analytical deliberation, and application. Think critically questions ask students to digest, analyze, and apply the material at hand. Put it together questions ask students to synthesize the information presented in figures and process diagrams. Ask yourself questions invite students to pause and confirm that they have understood a key concept addressed in a visual. Critical and creative thinking questions encourage students to develop an analytical understanding of the ideas presented in the chapter. Lastly, a visual end-of-chapter self-test poses review questions that ask students to demonstrate their understanding of key concepts. The chapter pedagogy helps students navigate the content with a clear understanding of what they need to focus on in order to succeed. A chapter outline tells students what topics they will encounter in the upcoming chapter. The chapter planner points out key features and helpful practice tips for students as they study. Learning objectives at the start of each section identify the concepts that students are expected to master while reading the section. Concept check questions are at the end of each section, allowing students to test their understanding of the learning objectives. A visual summary reinforces important chapter elements. Wiley Visualizing is based on the understanding that learning is an active process of knowledge construction. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology is available in Wiley Plus, which is a digital learning environment that facilitates engagement and active learning. Wiley Plus engages and excites students about the content and builds their confidence. Tools for promoting individual initiative, ways to increase effectiveness, and help in achieving personal goals are all linked to measurable outcomes, ensuring that students always know how their efforts are benefiting them. Wiley Plus effectively integrates the teaching process with the learning environment, seamlessly linking classroom presentation, student activity and study, and assessment. Much of the student's learning experience in Wiley Plus happens within the Read, Study, and Practice section of their course. Here you'll find a visual toolbar that links to a host of course-level resources for study and practice. Click on Interactions for a full A&P course in multimedia. Access anatomy overviews, animations on challenging concepts and processes, exercises and games, concept maps, as well as case studies. Access 3D Physiology for visually stunning 3D animations of physiological processes which explain tough topics. Try Muscles in Motion for a tutorial on skeletal muscles. Real Anatomy is a 3D cadaver dissection program. Students can experience a human cadaver lab from their computer or tablet. Anatomy Drill and Practice is a helpful study resource that consists of drag and drop and fill-in labeling exercises using text illustrations, cadaver photos, histology micrographs, and plastic models. Students can try these low-pressure practice activities as many times as they like to achieve mastery. PowerPhys is a laboratory simulation software that will guide students through the steps of the scientific method and help reinforce techniques experienced in an in-person laboratory setting. Lastly, there are dissection videos. These are collections of videos on cat, pig, rat, and human dissection. Watch these videos to make connections between these specimens and analogous anatomical structures in humans. Still within Read, Study, and Practice, students can access the complete ebook and a host of resources to help them understand difficult concepts. Let's take a look at some of the ways students can actively engage with the Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology core content in each chapter. Chapter resources are organized in See, Hear, and Do buckets. Research is clear that not all students process information and learn in the same way. The organization of assets into these categories caters to different learning modalities, understanding that some students are auditory learners, while others may be visual or kinesthetic learners. Wiley Plus has resources to facilitate learning for all of these learning styles. The See bucket contains resources such as animations, anatomy overviews, and videos. The Hear bucket contains the audio glossary, where students can listen to the pronunciation of key scientific terms. And the Do bucket contains a suite of active learning activities, such as quizzes, drag and drop activities, exercises, diagnostic case studies, and more. These interactive elements foster engagement with the chapter content. Visualizing Anatomy and Physiology and Wiley Plus can help teachers address key course challenges, such as teaching to students with limited science background and covering the essential coursework under time constraints. Several pre-created assignments are available in Wiley Plus, including pre- and post-lecture quizzes and a test bank. Other tools available to teachers include lecture PowerPoints, images and tables in PowerPoint and JPEGs, and an instructor manual for each chapter. Choosing Wiley means responsive customer support, quality instructor and student resources, multi-format content in digital, ebook, and print, and customization. We can add, remove, or rearrange content in all formats to meet your specific course needs. Thank you for your time and consideration. If you have any questions, please reach out to your account manager, Debbie Yuka, or the editor for Anatomy and Physiology here at Wiley, Maria Guaraccio, or the Market Development Manager, Robert Johnston.